And it's funny that you bring that up because on October 1st, just a few days ago, it was World Vegetarian Day. So, woohoo! That was actually started in 1977 in the United States, and it has since expanded. And another fun fact I learned is that actually currently 1 in 10 people is already a vegetarian and or a vegan. So the conversation doesn't even need to change all that much, right? It
Is
seems
that
like
in the US or is that worldwide? How does that?
worldwide. So it seems like more people than not are actually already open to this form of eating and living. However, that's not something that's often reflected in our markets.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the fact, the statistic that you mentioned, 1 in 10, is that in the US or is that worldwide, I imagine?
Worldwide, globally.
That's huge. I had no idea there were 1/10 of the world eats predominantly vegetarian. That's amazing. The trend is there. I know that India is famous for having 250 million people who subscribe to a vegetarian diet, but it's primarily because they're raised in that tradition, the Hindu tradition. And there are many more people that are raised Hindu that don't subscribe, they don't keep the diet. But evidently, the estimate is about 250, a little less than a quarter, maybe a fifth, of the population of the entire country, India, is vegetarian. They eat a lot of dairy there. Now, I have a lot of Indian friends, and I've done a lot of reading, and I happen to know statistics that dairy consumption in India is huge, and diabetes is huge. So they're actually not having the greatest health benefits by eating so much dairy along with their vegetarian diet. And so there's a lot of movement and a lot of change in India, even India, to go vegan, go from vegetarian to vegan.
And I mean, since we're on the topic of India, why not? I recently learned that they are creating leather. So that's leather that's actually made out of flowers, right? So I think the innovation is absolutely there, be it India, the United States, anywhere else in the globe. But we need to have more attention, right?
Wow.
And one thing that you recently taught me was that money matters. Well, I mean, I always knew this, but right, the more we sort of invest in things that we fundamentally believe in, then the world will change, right? The world responds to how our money is transacted.
And as Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. And so it's fortunate that now you can make money being the change. 30 years ago in my finance career, when you invested with your values, where you wouldn't invest in something that you found abhorrent, like maybe chemical warfare, mines, weapons, maybe even you didn't believe in pharmaceuticals, you wanted to go towards naturals. Well, you would have to take a discount in your earnings to screen away certain companies like Westinghouse nuclear reactors. Well, in 30 years, that's turned around. And by screening away certain dangerous, polluting industries, you're actually going to have a higher yield. So green screen or social responsible investing screened mutual funds are now doing better on average than generalized funds. So it's interesting. The things have changed in 20, 30 years, my business practice. Yeah, you're right. The other thing about your leather, you mentioned innovative leather. I've heard of mushroom leather and I've heard of pineapple leather. I never heard of flowers. That's so cool. So it makes sense. Everything is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Everything. 99% of what's on this planet is those four things. Yeah. And so if you reorganize the molecules, you're going to have petrochemicals. Before that, it was a dinosaur or a plant. You're going to have plastic. You're going to have prescription drugs. You're going to have plastic glasses. You're going to have clothing. You're going to have plastic, hardcore plastic. So all of these carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, these elements that are so plentiful in the universe, in our planet, when we reorganize them, and as plants do, we can use them. So why not take a plant and make it into clothing? I heard that Ford during World War II was able to make the body of a car out of hemp.
Really?
Because the shortage of metal was needed for the war effort. So they developed a hemp-based body car. Again, it's a plant.
Right.
And then after the war ended, they went back to metal. But,
well, what a mistake, right?
well, you could smoke your car, I guess.
People in Colorado would love that.
Right.
Okay. You know, we're actually coming towards the end of this interview. I feel like you shared so much knowledge in just a short amount of time. So I feel like our audience members maybe need to listen to this again, don't be shy, and over until it really starts to sink in. But I wanted to close on a more humanizing note. You know, we've been talking investing, we've been talking veganism, but really, I want to know more about you, Mark. So please tell me, what is your favorite meal?
Oh, that's easy. Black beans with lightly steamed broccoli.
Mhm.
And I love tomato sauce. And I love mushrooms, particularly portobellos, but small ones. And I just clean them and eat them fresh. I don't even cook them all the time.
Wow.
And the reason I choose these foods, Chelsea, thanks for asking, is I'm feeding my microbiome.
Wow.
So there's so much research, and it's very exciting. And there's going to be more and more vegan companies, but there's already there's some research and testing companies helping people learn about the microbiome and what foods to eat. That's the future. The future of food is personalized and vegan, plant-based and vegan. And so I really believe eating the foods that Dr. Joel Fuhrman, a very famous vegan doctor who was an Olympic athlete way back when, he says eat 4 foods every day to feed your microbiome: onions, greens, beans, and mushrooms.
Onions, greens, beans, and mushrooms.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that. I'll try.
Yeah. Well, thanks for asking. Thanks for this interview. Now, just to recap, I think you made a really good point. There are 3 things that people should consider when they're making investments. Something they know, they understand, they have a relationship to. So it has values for them, but also they have some personal knowledge about it.
Mhm.
Something that has a long-term proposition. They believe it's a long-term value in the world we all live in.
Yes.
And then diversify. And you'll find more out about that in our VIC. We have some tutorial, little teaching videos, explainer videos. There are some blog articles. VIC is about helping vegans learn first before they start investing. And then there'll be notification emails to you as a member of VIC. It's free. Just join. And you'll get emails saying when vegan companies are raising money and letting you start with $100 minimum if you want to start that low. And then there'll be many of these coming in the future. That's the future of VIC. We really see VIC growing to be 100,000 members next year.
Wow.
And of course, the best example for people the best reason that they would join VIC is to have an example success. So at VIC, me and the other people who formed VIC, that started VIC, I call it VIC, it's Vegan Investing Club, VIC.
Yeah.
The people who started that and all the vegan entrepreneurs and leaders, we are working hard to get the first company to be a profit success, an example of how vegan investors, early vegan investors, can get a profit in a year or 2.
Yeah.
And with that kind of an example next year, we think we're going to have 100,000 members in the next 2 years.
Wow.
So we're working hard to get the first example. We're in phase 1, which is build our membership. Phase 2 is the first couple of companies to use VIC, to let investors, members of VIC, invest early at a discount. And then third phase is a whole bunch of companies based on a success of one company making money for early investors. I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense.
It does. I mean, it's a very beautiful vision. It's new, so I think it does take a little bit to sort of like imagine it for yourself.
Yeah.
But the picture is crystal clear in my mind.
Yeah.
And obviously, I believe that this is a possibility, and this is perhaps exactly what the world needs right now. Love the glass. All right, so I want to thank you for taking time on this Saturday to speak with me about the Vegan Investing Club. And we're going to get together again, yeah, and do this and answer some more pointed questions that people in the group have for you.
Thanks for your help, and thanks for helping get the message of VIC out to the vegan community. I know you're an activist yourself, and you are passionately driven to make a difference in the world. So thanks for the work you do, Chelsea.
Wow, thank you.
Okay.
Grateful for this time.
Peace, as they say.
Have a good one.